Good morning, BitChute. Joseph Green here again. Well, you know what? The reason I'm doing this video is because there's that much shit going on in the news and that much shit going on this earth. It's unbelievable now. So let me take you what's happening here now. Is the fact is the Labour government in the UK have put up inheritance tax. God knows why, because the tax is already paid on the properties that you inherit, or anything else for that matter has been inherited, because it's been taxed for as long as your mother and father or your family member has it, and then you get taxed on it again. The national insurance is going up, but it's the employers that have to pay the extra percentage going up on top of a small donation to the pension plan. So that means that the employers are taking the brunt of the government putting shit up, and also they're putting the minimum wage up, which has to happen, but across the board everything is £12-13. If you can get £14 or £15 an hour, you're on a win-win situation, because that's about as good as it's getting. Now when it comes to climate, I'm watching Sky News and I've got to say it's even worse than BBC in the sense of talking shite. The climate catastrophe in Valencia in Spain. Well, let me tell you about what's happening with this weather these days. They're going about it's the worst since, records began in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. Well, when did they start weather modification? It was basically the 40s and 50s. See, before that, we never had any of these kind of weather phenomenals where you'd get a year's rain in 8 hours. That's impossible. That's impossible, folks. Impossible. They're manufacturing the weather, because if they wanted to make it rain, go and make it rain in Africa where they really, really need it. But they're not going to let that happen, because the fact is they want Africa to just crash and burn, so they can mine the fuck out of Africa, because it's gold, diamonds, all that sort of stuff. On top of that, you've got all these wildfires at the same time as getting floods. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? And these rotten fucking bastards think it's alright just to, weather modify the whole earth, just to climatise. It's to say it's to do with climate or global warming. It's nothing to do with that. It's to do with crowd control and population control, and get everybody together so they can easily be killed. That's the thing. The population can be killed easier if they're all moved out in the country into one city. And what do you think they're making in these in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and all that sort of stuff? They're making these cities where you can actually probably house 5 million people. And then if they want to create something to happen, they could easily kill you all. People, you need to wake up. The wars are fabricated to crash the economy and make money for the governments and the banking system. The wars are fabricated to create hate and racism, so that the fact is we kill each other or hate each other, and it's an easy win-win situation for them because we do all their hard work for them. Listen, the people that run this earth are no normal people. You've got to ask yourself, is God really good or is Satan really bad? Because I ask myself that so many times, it's unbelievable. Satan will promise you everything, but God, why does he allow people to die of cancer? Why does he allow these wars to go ahead and let the human population destroy themselves? I question everything, and so should you, especially the nonsense that comes off that news. A year's rain in 8 hours. That was you never got that in the 30s, 40s or 50s. It's only happened now since they've got the weather modification to an absolute T. As I said in the blogs, he who controls the weather controls the world. And what they're doing is they're bursting out with this climate global warming. Well, I'll tell you what, coming from Scotland, this year I used to count the days, how many days we used to get the summer, and that's been for the last 10 years. Now, this year, we got nothing. We didn't even get a summer. And they're talking about global warming. It's been the coldest year I've ever seen in my life, and yet they're calling it global warming. It's absolute fucking nonsense. And the people that run this earth i.e. the politicians in the UK, they know they're all up to this because they're all becoming millionaires. When they come into the job, you know, they're averaging their normal wage, but when they've left their position, they're all millionaires through PPE exposure, through global warming exposure, through ULEZ, ultra low emission zones. They're all in the fucking pot of soup together to manufacture, making loads of money and destroy the countries. America and the UK are absolutely no good for no one, and we need to get the fuck out of these countries. Open your mind, people. Think about what's happening here. The weather is easily manufactured and made. It's all online. If you want to go and see geoengineering, it's there to be upholded or uploaded or beholded. You can watch it all. They've been doing it from the 50s, admitting that they did it to Vietnam. And fuck me, when was the Vietnam War? 40s? 50s? I'm not too clued up on the Vietnam Wars, but I did know that they'd done weather modification to nip into Vietnam so they were unseen. There you go. Over and out.